happiest day of my life became the day I feared the most because the house I'd worked so hard to buy was paid for with money that never should have existed, not because I stole it, because I never questioned where it came from. My name is Marcus, and one phone call changed everything I believed about success. 5 years ago, I was barely surviving, rent kept increasing, my old pickup truck broke down every other month. I worked 45 hours a week at a warehouse and still couldn't save enough for a down payment on a house. Every month felt the same. Pay bills, start over. Then my cousin Jason called. "I've got an opportunity." Those words should have been my first warning. Jason always seemed to have money, new cars, expensive watches, luxury vacations. Whenever anyone asked what he did, he'd smile and say, "I know the right people." I never pushed for details. He told me he needed someone reliable to help manage payments for his online consulting business. The work sounded simple. Clients paid invoices, money landed in an account under my name. I transferred most of it to another business account, then kept a commission, 5%. It seemed legitimate. There were invoices, contracts, even a professional-looking website. Everything looked real. Within months, I was making more money than I'd ever earned. Jason kept saying, "See? I told you hard work pays." For the first time in my life, I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. I paid off my truck, cleared my student loans, started saving aggressively. 2 years later, I bought my dream house. Nothing extravagant, 3 bedrooms, a big backyard, a garage I'd always wanted. I remember standing in the empty living room thinking, "I finally made it." My mom hugged me and cried, "You earned this." I believed I had. Then, 8 months after moving in, someone knocked on my front door at 7 in the morning. 2 federal investigators, 1 local detective, 1 search warrant. At first, I thought they'd come to the wrong address. They asked one question, "Are you Marcus Reynolds?" "Yes. We need to discuss several financial transactions connected to your bank accounts." My stomach dropped. For the next 4 hours, I learned the truth. Jason's consulting company never existed. It was part of a massive online investment scam. Thousands of victims believed they were investing in legitimate businesses. Instead, their money moved through dozens of accounts, including mine. I wasn't the mastermind. I wasn't even considered part of the planning. I was what investigators called a money mule. Someone used to move stolen funds while making them harder to trace. I felt sick. I didn't know. One investigator nodded, "We believe you. But the money still belongs to the victims." That sentence changed everything because, suddenly, the house I loved wasn't really mine anymore. The savings I'd built, the truck I'd paid off, even parts of my retirement account, everything purchased using those commissions became evidence. Jason disappeared before anyone could arrest him. He'd planned everything: fake contracts, fake tax documents, fake business records. He'd built an entire illusion, and I'd walked straight into it. The following months were brutal. Lawyers, interviews, financial audits. I cooperated with everything. Every email, every text, every bank statement. Investigators eventually confirmed I'd never knowingly participated in the scam. That saved me from criminal charges. But it didn't save my finances. The court ordered most remaining funds returned to victims. I voluntarily sold my truck, liquidated investments, and finally, the hardest decision of all, I sold my house. Walking through those empty rooms one last time felt worse than losing any amount of money, not because of the building, because every memory inside it suddenly carried guilt. After closing day, I moved into a small apartment. Starting over at 36 wasn't how I'd imagined life. One evening, my mother visited. She looked around my tiny apartment. "I'm sorry." I shook my head. For what? For losing everything. I smiled. I didn't lose everything. I lost things. There's a difference. I still had my health, my family, my reputation, and most importantly, I still had the ability to rebuild honestly. A year later, investigators finally arrested Jason overseas. His trial revealed dozens of fake companies and hundreds of victims. The amount stolen was staggering. When I testified, he wouldn't even look at me, not once. Afterward, he quietly said, "I never meant for you to get hurt." I answered honestly, "You never thought about anyone except yourself." That was the last conversation we ever had. Today, I'm back to saving for another home. It's taking longer this time. Every dollar comes from my actual paycheck. No shortcuts, no mysterious business opportunities, no easy money, and honestly, I sleep better because of it. People sometimes ask if I regret trusting Jason. Of course I do, but I regret something else even more. I stopped asking questions because I liked the answers I was getting. When something seems too easy, too profitable, too perfect, that's exactly when you should become more curious, not less. Looking back, the biggest mistake wasn't believing my cousin. It was ignoring the tiny voice in my head that kept asking, how is he making this much money? I didn't want to know because the truth would have ruined the dream. Instead, the truth waited until I'd built my entire life on top of it. If you've ever ignored red flags because everything seemed to be going your way, share your story in the comments below. Sometimes the most expensive lesson you'll ever learn starts with money that looked too good to question.